Hello, we're in the chapel at Tango Towers because it's the only place we can put great big chunky things like this. This is coming from a customer who brought it all the way down from Edinburgh, 250 miles, and no doubt we'll be coming back for it when we've done it. So it's an HMV Stereomaster. I thought it was 2328, but it isn't. So what we'll just do is we're just going to turn it. I've got Simon helping with me today, and he's not going to be on the camera. Right. But
which way we
I think we turn it to the front. I just want to look at the model number.
Right.
Yeah.
What's it got?
It did have once, and it just says nothing. Okay. And it's not got the back panel, so it's not. It's the one with the 3. And yes, it's got the BSR turntable. So I'm now kind of stuck as to which model we've got. So is it the 23301 if it's the stereo one? No, if it's the mono one, which is then stereo upgradable. Well, it was at the time. Or is it the 2330 which had the decoder?
You've got a stereo mono switch.
Ah, but it means nothing. Because they didn't change the switches. We're having a good discussion here, folks, because it was upgradable if you had the mono version.
Yeah.
So the fact it's got a stereo beacon light meant it was upgradable, because the earlier one, which would have been the 2328, wasn't upgradable. It was always a mono radio. So what we've got to do for a start is we're going to be servicing this turntable, and that'll be a usual procedure. I'll just see if I can see a stereo decoder, just in case. No, it's a mono radio. But we'll be coming to the electronics. So there's going to be 3 videos, and we're going to start with the turntable today, and then we're going to take the electronics out, put that in the workshop, go through the overhaul procedure with the capacitors, and then pop it all in. So here we go. We will start. Overarm up, remove centre spindle. That's the auto spindle. Now you've got with these a manual spindle as well, so that's in position. I'll just put that there for now. No, I won't. And then we need to remove this decal thing with a suitable small screwdriver is the thing we're looking for. We'll pause the video while we look for one. Okay, so we've got the decal off. It's still got the plastic on that, the cellophane, so remove the circlip with the handy screwdriver, which we just happen to have got. Why would we use anything else? And lift up the platter. And try and lift up the platter. Oh dear.
It's not quite as seized as some.
No, it's not as seized as some, which you end up putting a soldering iron down to do the grease with. So that's the platter off. So
that looks quite clean as well.
Yeah, we'll be cleaning that up.
Good condition.
So this is always going to be seized. That isn't far off being seized. If this triggers, which is the auto stop trigger, is seized, what happens is that the record, the turn arm will go so far into the record and it sticks.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling the camera this, not you. He's going to reply to everything, folks. So that's the next circlip off. And hopefully we can pull that off. Yeah, again, it's not as bad as some, but it's absolutely solid nastiness. We're going to take the idler off with its circlip and its thrust washer. It has another thrust washer underneath. So that's now off. I'm going to pop that off and show the bearing race under there. And what I'm going to now do is we're just going to clean up this stuff with, I'm going to use WD-40 to help melt it, and then we'll put some grease and that on. So we also need to take this off, but I'll do that I'll end up putting it on the wrong way around if I do it now. So we'll come back to that in a bit. Okay, so I went across to Mr. Chippy's workshop to go and get some. I'm going to put some WD-40 on there to help get rid of the crud. Not to use as a lubricant, Let that one soak in. I say this is nothing like the worst we've ever seen, where you can end up with the soldering iron trying to remove the platter. So I'm just going to run around this with the paper, get rid of this old grease. It's not as bad as some. Now I've got that far, we're going to take this off. So once again we'll take that circlip off, just like that. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put it in an ultrasonic cleaner with isopropyl alcohol, because it's not a matter of lubricating it, it's making sure it's absolutely clean between those leaves. And it feels alright, but I don't want him going 250 miles back and finding that it goes 2/3 of the way into a record and sticks. So that goes in the ultrasonic cleaner. So I better go and do that right now. Okay, so we're back on with this, and we've had this run through our ultrasonic cleaner. And of course I can't remember which way round it goes.
I think it's with that little lug there facing downwards, isn't it?
And that little lug upwards?
Yeah, and that one on the corner there faces upwards. That bit is the bit that the notch on the platter here catches on to make the arm lift and what have you.
Right, I'll just get a green towel. I can look back on the video a bit anyway. Just put some oil on the paper, run that round.
I just managed to remember it over the years because I've dealt with so many of them.
Right. Put the grease on. But I think I'll use my rag to do that. Grease as recommended by Andy at Vintage Audio. And we'll put some, I'm going to put some oil on that. Put that one, oh, that's the wrong way around, you can see where it's been. That on there, and hopefully this will go back without any shenanigans. Sometimes you've got to pull in that on a piece of string. And that's exactly what's going to happen today. So once again we'll pause the video. Okay, so we'll use the red thread which we use in organs. So when I did the training course at, was it Hatfield? No. Enfield, whoops, tripped over camcorder. So I'm going to use this organ thread, but it's a matter of wrapping it round there and being able to pull that back a fraction like that, and then put this back on. And withdraw it, and hopefully, no, I failed. I am a failure. Never going to work out when you're doing a demonstration, is it? Now I think we're in. Yeah. Definitely.
That's about it.
And put the circlip back on. Because I'm called fingers with all this church organist work. I can do these without pliers. So back to this.
And it's with that long bit underneath, like I said. As I say, it's just that I seem to remember it from all the years I've been doing.
We'll put the circlip back on for that. And if it's not wrong, well, we'll soon find out. I will need the pliers for this one. Yeah, we do have circlip pliers, but why bother looking for them? Right. So that's the important bit. Now the idler. So we'll just get another piece of paper towel. Got the isopropyl alcohol. Need to clean this up a bit.
At least these BSR decks are pretty good to sort out, aren't they? They don't take what they're doing.
No, there might be some lubrication underneath, but worry about that when it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't usually. So once again, making sure I've got my oily one, we'll make sure that has got some oil on it. And then carefully put that back on. Oh, we didn't clean this. Also with the isopropyl alcohol, the motor spindle. So put the thrust washer back. Put the circlip back. There we go. So as far as I'm concerned, I just want to clean the inside of the platter. So again with the isopropyl alcohol, probably do with some more on that now. I'll just run around the rim. To be honest, it doesn't look high hours. It's not got any rubber left behind on there.
It looks in pretty clean
It
condition.
does. I won't put that on yet because we need to now tip the product up. So we'll just do that and come back to the camera. We've noticed it's had some work because the two speakers are different, and that's interesting because if the two speakers are different, what it's going to sound like when we put this back together. I don't want to force replacement speakers on the customer, but it may be a bit strange if it's got two speakers of different types. They're supposed to be 10 ohms if I remember rightly on these without looking at the manual. So look at the underside of it should be UA70 turntable. We do have a tag here and it does say, as I guessed, 23301 because it is the mono one. And we have got this lead which goes to the pickup. And I've got a simple thing to do with that. We're simply going to cut it. And I'm in here again. We don't have, this isn't a workshop. And there are no tools and we can't cut that. So then what I was going to say is we'll then unscrew that, put that into some kind of chop block. I will just want to run mains onto the
Is that not
onto the
plugged
turntable.
in there, or is it soldered?
It's all soldered because the idea is if you start introducing plugs and sockets, you've got a possible fidelity loss, etc. So once again, we'll pause the video and find some actual tools. Cut off the pickup so we can take the electronics out in the next stage. What I just want to do is to make sure this is actually working in some way and that I've put it back together the right way. So we'll just temporarily put the platter back on. I've got it connected to mains but disconnected from the product, so it's nothing to do with this because the last thing we want to do is to connect power to the electronics. So just got the mains straight into a safe block and into the wall. So yes, that's trying to move, so that's fine. So we'll put this platter on.
Push that jockey wheel back, don't you?
Hopefully it'll just do that. Go into.
Slow in.
That is a bit
45.
slow. Yes, well we'll see what's whether it picks up or whether it needs some more lubrication. Well, that's not right.
That's if the motor's running too slow.
Oh, I haven't put any lubrication on the motor, that is a point, which does want doing.
And that's the bottom.
Put some oil down the motor shaft, which is what I'm supposed to do, so that it goes into the bottom. That's a stage I'd missed. So let's see whether that, it's on 78, see whether that improves matters. That's
It's getting there.
It is.
Yeah.
We'll worry about all that. Now these aren't, remember these folks, these aren't speed adjustable, so it's either right or it's wrong. So somebody sent me a message or an email, and they said that they've got some device, I think they've got one of these mobile phones with a gravity sensor or something. Bear in mind I don't do mobile phones, so I know nothing about these. And there's some software which you can put your mobile phone on the turntable and it tells you the speed it's going at. My BSR turntable is only doing 32.1 RPM or something like that. Well, that's what it does. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not high precision. If you want something to be exactly 33 1/3, don't buy that turntable. Right, that looks pretty spot on. So there's two things I want to check before we take the electronics out. So I'll just stop that. And one is the Stylus condition. So what have we got? ST8 is one of the ones. Let's get the Stylus microscope out. Heat up because so we'll just look at it under the Stylus microscope. I can't really show this on the video, I don't think, but I'll give it a go. It's dual sapphire, this, which I don't think. Let's see whether we can do that. I don't think. Well, I tried. So that looks all right for now, but we'll look up what it should be. And the other thing I want to check, if we can get that back in, just pause the video. Okay, so we now get the Stylus balance. It's supposed to be somewhere around 4 grams. It's not booting up.
There's the battery gone.
Nope, it was in limbo. Right. It's 2.4, so that's... I've not put the Stylus back in, so let's just add the Stylus onto that. Well, that's about where it should be.
It's stating between 3 and 4 grams according to the adjuster on the back of the arm, isn't it?
It's about where it should be, so it doesn't look like it's had any faffing around with, and so that's great. So I think I might, yeah, we'll leave it at that, and so we seem to be happy that that's going to be working all right. Well, now we'll take the electronics out. Right, folks, so when you've taken the 2 bolts out underneath, on this model, you've got 2 more bolts, these, just down here. Then you take the knobs off, and then hopefully it'll withdraw the chassis. There we go, the chassis on the perspex top.
And then that drops off.
Gives us an opportunity to clean underneath as well. So we just turn this around now, we can withdraw the chassis. Let's look at what we're going to do next with this.
Oh, it needs a smaller edge.
Right, we'll worry about that.
Yeah.
So we've got power supply, it's going to be regulated 30 something volts. I haven't got the manual with me in here, but I have got the manual where we're going to do this in the workshop. So because it's a varicap electronic tuner, it needs to be a precise voltage, hence it's regulated. So that's the regulation, that capacitor needs to go, that capacitor needs to go. Those have been changed previously, but we're going to be changing them again. These are the notorious Hunts or Callan ones. And on the tuner, and he's not got back to me on this, I said to him, oh, this could not, there's a possibility this project isn't worthwhile if the radio isn't working. And he didn't answer, so I don't know, because it's full of AF117s, and if all those are knackered, it's going to be a problem, isn't it? But we'll find out.
I think them 4-wire transistors are a bit hard to come by, aren't they?
They are, and they're all tied with the same brush now.
Yeah.
Which is metallic whiskers on the inside. Right, so...
Right, just need another thing to put that in.
Well, that's where we'll leave the video, because the next thing, we've done the turntable, it looks like it's going to be right. The precision alignment will be done when the thing's finished. So the next video on this will be this on the bench, getting the capacitors changed. We'll power it up on the bench, because it is self-contained. We've got speakers under the bench. This is Mr. Chippy's bench we're talking about. And hopefully we'll have all this working. But it's fingers crossed as to whether the tuner's going to work. We might be having spending a lot of money on something that is going to be uneconomical to get the radio working on. Right, so with that we'll say thank you for watching, and this is the HMV 23301 from about 1968.